slash root, so it's
10
not as big of a
seconds
deal.
remaining.
There's only that one level in it. If you go like a shield build, flame guard
5
slash sleight of
seconds
fist build,
remaining.
it's not quite as strong. And Lycan, took
Dire team ban.
a little hit as well, I believe. But both
Yeah, did
heroes
we see
banned
any changes
first.
to Lycan?
I'm trying
Howl in
to
6.81?
I'm trying to remember if they
Yeah,
did
get
their
those
howl
patch
like they
notes.
thought of. Let me check it out real quick.
This is the first game that we're casting since 6.81 came live. So there are probably going to be quite a few changes. We're talking about whether or not teams have already gone as far as changing their preferred draft and kind of team meta makeups. You can call it that. I don't know. I don't know if they've had the chance to really work on something.
Yeah,
Huskar ban, that's a little weird.
what actually happened was Shapeshift, his ultimate. They removed the health bonus from it, so it made him a little squishier.
Yeah, they did.
And I forgot about that.
That was
But
a
yeah,
nerf.
actually, Huskar got picked up, I think, by Alliance in this patch already. So who knows? Maybe he's gonna
Huskar?
be. Yeah, he got pro play.
Holy
So
cow.
who knows? Maybe he will be a hero actually being played. Now that his Burning Spear is no longer a unique attack modifier, he can build lifesteal without having to worry about that. So I don't know.
Reserve
Maybe he's
time.
gonna become a crazy carry now. Who knows?
I mean, it could be just a. I don't know if I like that change. I haven't seen it in action. Not going to see it in action this game either. But it means you can just get a mask. What is it, a morbid mask? And be fine. You don't even need to finish the Vlads.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And well, Vlad's wouldn't be the enemy pickup on Huskar. Are you talking about Ursa? Is that what you're talking about? Sorry, I was a little.
Yeah, talking about Ursa, but just talking about lifesteal in general now, not applying to unique attack modifiers.
Yeah, we'll
10
still
seconds
applies to some,
remaining.
but they're slowly seeming to be phasing that out of the game.
5 seconds
I'm
remaining.
trying to think who still has one. I can't think right now. I know
A
there's
unique
somebody.
attack modifier?
There has to be
Reserve
somebody who has a
time.
built-in unique attack modifier left.
Well, Drow Ranger's orb. It's still an orb, correct?
Well, orb and unique attack modifier are two separate things now. So.
But didn't they wasn't that the goal to replace orbs with unique attack modifiers?
Yeah, but there were still unique attack modifier orbs, if that makes sense. They're two separate things, but they still do somewhat come together.
Okay.
Like, for instance,
Yeah, I didn't play
Burning
Dota
Spear.
1, so
Burning Spear was one of those. It's an orb and it's a unique attack modifier. Now it's obviously not a unique attack modifier, but it was. So
Radiant team pick.
okay.
that was
I
a
wonder-
big change from Dota 1 to Dota
Her
2.
ice arrows are a unique attack modifier, correct?
I don't know.
Or simply just an
I
orb?
honestly am not sure. It might just be an orb. I haven't played Drow or
Okay.
looked at her in a long time, so not exactly sure where she stands in terms of that.
Well,
But, we see Doom
we got a
first
Doombreaker
picked.
coming out for
Mm-hmm.
for Chosen Heroes.
And it's an
I
interesting
don't
pickup.
know why I
think
think that's fitting.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, keep going.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they run this. If they're going to run it
5 seconds
in the jungle,
remaining.
if they're going to run it with a safe lane, if they're going to run it tri lane, or what they want to do with it. I have seen every now and then Doom being played kind of
Reserve time.
aggressively, with only getting maybe 1 point devour and trying to level up that level death for some crazy kills. But we'll see.
Yeah, level death. It's not as random as something like a crit chance per se, but you do need to be paying attention to what level the enemy heroes are at in order to
Radiant
make it
team
effective,
pick.
right? And it's hard to max it really because maxing your devour is just so. I mean, it's so nice. You just get so much gold from it. You can't afford to max it later, just have 1 point in it, but you're certainly always going to get points in devour. The regen speed boost from your W, I think you always need at least 1 point in W.
Yeah, the W is huge, but you see some players running it like they get at level 4, they get
10
their second point
seconds
level death, they
remaining.
get 1 point devour, 1 point scorched earth, and when in an aggressive try,
5
and
seconds
their
remaining.
carry hits level 5, you have level 2 level death. You get that guaranteed extra
Reserve
hit,
time.
and it's pretty crazy for getting kills in lane.
Yeah, if you can time it out like that, which is obviously something going to be paying attention to. I don't know why I feel this way, but Commie hunters, I really like their little
team
avatar
pick.
thing, but I feel like Doom. I don't know if I had to identify a hero as Commie, I think Doom would probably be it.
Dire team ban.
You think he's a
Like Doom or
communist? I don't know.
Silencer.
Doom kind of is.
I think he's a communist.
I think he's kind of selfish. He's just trying to take all the money for himself. He's not
Radiant
giving
team
any money to his
banned.
team. That's kind of the communist way, isn't it? So, I don't know.
Dire
Well,
team ban.
not all believers follow the practice, right?
Yeah, that's true. I guess he might be the fascist dictator or something. But here's a crazy
No.
pick. We actually see a
Or
witch
something.
doctor. Witch doctor who, he did see some changes in the patch. I think Maledict cooldown
10
got
seconds
reduced, and his
remaining.
ultimate does a little more damage. So that's pretty crazy.
Didn't they increase?
5 seconds.
They increased the attack speed of the ult.
Yeah, it's I think went from like a 2.5 to a 2.2 attack rate.
Okay.
Something like that, which is a pretty, it's not a
Radiant
huge
team ban.
buff, but it's still pretty significant.
Yeah, also the Invoker coming out for Commie Hunters. Interesting, Invoker was a really common pick before the patch. And I think I complained about this every time I played against an Invoker and loved it every single time I played as an Invoker. Landing EMPs were just so easy. You really didn't need to pay attention to the timing of it, especially early mid-game. All you had to do is put the EMP down, get a tornado off on them, and as long as that tornado came off relatively soon after the EMP went down, you're going to land it no matter what. Right? You couldn't lay it down and then, wait 2 seconds and then get the tornado because the EMP would go off before they came down from the tornado. But it was just so easy. So getting kills in lane as Quas, Wex, and Boker was actually really, really, possible, really viable. Whereas generally Quas, Wex, and Boker is the type of mid that rotates really early to make other lanes a lot easier, give other lanes kills. But he's not necessarily there to get a kill in the mid lane, like something like Exhort Forge Spirit, Exhort Wex, or I'm sorry, not Wex, Quas. You could expect to, possibly get a kill in lane because you'll have a lot of harass potential with your Cold Snap. But with the EMP change, which I believe is its range, is it simply the range?
It's the delay. It's went from a 2.6 to a 2.9 second delay.
Okay, so they've increased the delay, which means you have to get it down and then actually wait a second and a half, 2 seconds to get the tornado.
Yeah, well, it also depends on how many points you have Quas. Most of the time you see Quas, Wex, and Boker only put 4 points Quas. Max Wex and then start getting some Exhort for some Meteors. It might mean you get maybe 5 or 6 points Quas now for that longer tornado lift. And Axe and a Darkseer, two heroes. I mean, Darkseer is always kind of at least somewhat in the metagame, but he's kind of fallen out to some degree lately. But it seems like teams are starting to pick him up again. I just saw, who was it? I think Roxkiss picked him up
10 seconds
yesterday in the pro game.
remaining.
And we'll see what Axe does now that his counter helix is a
5
pseudo random
seconds
chance.
remaining.
Get a little less RNG. You don't have to pray to RNGs just to get those counter helix procs.
Reserve time.
Right, RNG. Yeah, it's true. And Darkseer finally wasn't nerfed in a patch.
I think that's true. I don't think he actually got nerfed this patch. Let's make sure.
I think it was the first patch in like 3 patches that he hasn't had his vacuum time increased.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't get it nerfed.
Yeah, which Darkseer affiliates are praising about.
Yeah, that's kind of the running joke for quite a while, is that every patch you saw Darkseer's cooldown vacuum get nerfed by a tiny bit. And, it's scaled up, I think, 3 times, and it's pretty outrageous. But here's the line pickup. Line's pretty good against Axe. You sheep that Axe.
Yeah,
he's
he
not
really
spinning.
is.
You do a lot of CC to him, a lot of damage.
And a lot of burst damage.
Even if you mana drain him, that's going to keep him from using his ultimate, his Berserker's Call, and his Battle Hunger, so it's a pretty good pickup for him.
Well, Commie Hunters, they don't have anybody innately tanky right now, but what I do really like is that all of those are Doom targets. They're all people you want to Doom. And sure, that makes Doom's job, I kind of saw this coming. I don't necessarily, it makes Doom's job easier, right? He can Doom anybody. But the sheer fact is you got to think a lot harder about who it is you're going to do, because every single person, you have Graves, you have EMP, you got a lot of disable out of the Invoker, can't even name the amount of disable, Vacuum, Wall, Lion, Alt, Finger, Stun. They have so much control. Who do you Doom?
Yeah, that's true.
Time.
I kind of feel like they're intentionally doing that as well. They see a Doom and they think, well, okay, so he wants someone to Doom, so instead of giving him 1 obvious Doom target, let's give him 5. Right, so he's really got to choose who to Doom, and if he wastes it on somebody that he thinks ought to have it on him, like the Invoker is kind of the obvious choice, still have so much damage and disable coming from everybody else, so it could be a wasted Doom no matter who you put it on. The Ursa, going back to unique attack modifiers.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with this Ursa. They have a lot of jungle champions, actually. Heroes that, kind of migrate into the jungle, at least to some degree. and
5
Axe,
seconds
Doom, and
remaining.
Ursa all are viable. So it's going to be interesting to see how they run their lanes, and if they want to even give any of these heroes a primary jungle.
Reserve time.
Axe can play in the off lane. He can possibly play mid. He's actually a pretty strong counter mid against certain heroes. I think he's actually decent against Invoker, because Invoker, if he goes cross wax, doesn't have a lot of right click potential
Team
in terms of getting last hits. You throw a battle hunger on him, and it's really hard for him to get a last hit if the axe is denying properly and sitting there in melee range.
Yeah.
Team pick.
Yeah, that's true. Well, again, Commie Hunters, nobody innately tanky. Even the Weaver. I mean, just a really, really hard late game carry. But Chosen Heroes, Axe, Ursa, Doom, all of these heroes could be innately tanky. Bat Rider, not so much. But, oh, that was strange. I actually didn't see the Bat Rider coming out. That's definitely going to be their mid.
I don't know.
I love
I
Heroin.
really
Is that
think
the
they
stand-in?
could. No, the stand-in's Voodoo. I don't know. I don't know who exactly is running on Chosen Heroes right now. But I don't know. I don't think the Bat is necessarily mid. I think he could be played in the off lane. I think Bat's another hero who can jungle. He can safe lane. He can solo safe lane. I mean, I really think their lanes could be anything at this moment.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna see Bat Rider mid. I wouldn't be surprised if Ursa laned, actually. And I wouldn't be surprised if Doom top soloed. Or maybe safe lane soloed. I'd probably like a long lane solo. For Commie Hunters, well, let's see. I'll go ahead and I'll introduce Commie Hunters.
Okay, go ahead.
So we do have the stand-in, Voodoo, who's going to be on the line. Most likely part of a tri-lane. Could go mid, doubt it though. Invoker's going to want the levels mid. We do have, what is that, Iced Tea on Invoker. Kind of reminds me of the famous Nestea from StarCraft 2. Bubbles on the Dazzle, if you've watched, what was it, The Wire?
Yeah, he's in The Wire, and from. I don't know, it's probably Trailer Park Boys.
Trailer Park Boys Bubbles?
Never seen Trailer Park Boys? Oh man, I actually do.
I've seen you guys
I
watch
sometimes can do a decent Trailer Park Bubbles impersonation of Trailer Park Boys. It depends on.
You want to give it a try?
I could try. Let me clear my throat first. It's kind of like, "What are you doing, Julian? Gotta have my kitties and I got my kitties." That's kind of what Bubbles sounds like for Trailer Park Boys.
Somebody's gonna have to tell you how good you're doing. I wouldn't know.
that wasn't the best.
You kind of sound like you sound like a SpongeBob character.
He does kind of sound like a SpongeBob character. He's got these like big, Coke glasses, Coke bottle glasses or whatever.
Oh no, you sound like yo, hold up, Mary, what's that cartoon we watch? Adventure Time. You sound like, what's the name of that old lady?
Oh, I can't remember. I haven't seen Adventure Time in a while.
It's like that old hippopotamus lady looking thing. Tree Trunks, yeah, you sound like Tree Trunks. All right, here we go. We got Trog on the Weaver going bottom and with the tri-lane, and Tester, who is, I think, possibly going to be the top solo. Okay, don't see anybody with a smoke. As I say that, the line picks up a smoke, and looks like they're going out 5, so we might have some aggression here in the very beginning. There's the smoke. All right, how about Chosen Heroes?
Yeah, for Chosen Heroes, we have Angel and Ursa. I think he might actually be going mid. That might be pretty interesting. He's got a Stout Shield and a Slippers of Agility, but it's going to be really interesting to see actually where he lands. No one's picked up a smoke on Chosen Heroes right now, so we'll see. But we have I Love Heroin Heart on the Bat Rider, Crazy Men,
I love
LDP on Witch Doctor, Darky on the Doom, and Shura LDP on the Axe. And like I said, I don't really know where these lanes are going to be. None of them are even in a position for this smoke to really pay off. They're kind of just grouped up around the Roche pit, and their smokes ran out, so they actually, I think, might think that they got spotted out, but really, I think their smoke just dispersed over time.
Yeah, they really used that early. I mean, they weren't even past their Nexus towers.
Yeah, you know what it really was?
Or their Ancient towers, excuse me.
They were afraid of level 1 Roche, so they wanted to smoke up, get the move speed to get there, and just make sure they weren't level 1 Roshing. Obviously, they're not. And yeah, we do see Angel going mid on the Ursa. We have Bat Rider off lane, and then a tri-lane top with an Axe and a Doom. This is a crazy tri-lane. The Axe is probably going to be jungling, at least to some degree. But it's probably going to be coming into lane to battle under that Weaver. I mean, the Darkseer, so I don't know. It's going to be very interesting.
That is a crazy Axe.
Yeah, what's the name of that one again? That is the
They make
Corruptor.
They make so many good items for him.
Yeah, he's got quite a few items.
Yeah. Same with Doom. Not actually wearing any right now, but Doom's got some super cool swords. All right, like you said, Ursa mid. Yeah, Ursa versus Invoker. This is. I mean, he does have the innate lifesteal, but not until he hits level 6.
His ult doesn't give him lifesteal. His ult just gives him damage. Lifesteal comes from his just getting lifesteal items.
Interesting. He's actually playing really aggressive. Yeah, I don't know how aggressive he wants to play this. I mean, he's taking a lot of damage from the creeps. Obviously, we're going Exhort on the Invoker, so he's going to be going damage. He's already invoked a spell Sunstrike, so we're going to have to be looking for that around the map. I heard that they added a Sunstrike indicator. Whether or not that's the case, we'll have to see, but we're going to have to keep our eyes on Sunstrikes.
Yeah, and I think that's actually being something people are asking for. I don't think it's in the game yet, and it's for spectators, so we'll see.
Okay.
Cast goes out on Darkseer top, but it's not really going to be anything they can follow up with. Doom is pulling the lane right now, so it looks like, are they giving Axe the farm in this lane?
Yep. Looks like they're giving Axe the farm, and Doom's going to be jungling.
It's very interesting. Doom has 3 last hits right now, or 5 actually, and Axe only has 2, so I don't know. I think they're kind of splitting the farm up here.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Doom is an effective jungler, no doubt, with his Devour, but I feel like he would be more effective in lane, and Axe would be more effective in the jungle.
Yeah, well, Angel took a little harass there from a cold snap. He'll be fine. And, you know, we've got Ice-T, who's going this crossbox build we were talking about, but he already has a point in Exhort. He's got Cold Snap and Sunstrike, but as we say, this Witch Doctor has got him viz and set up.
Yep, we got the pings coming out, so here he comes. Now, I don't think they had a ward on that rune, so they're not going to have. There's the slow. Here comes the stun. Are they going to be able to do enough damage to him here? One more swipe and he's dead. There you go. Witch Doctor's actually going to end up taking that, but I'm sure Angel's more than happy to get an assist and just have his lane be made that much easier.
Yeah, and that's first blood assist gold, so he's already got enough for his boots and to finish his poor man's shield, which is a pretty big deal going up against Invoker.
Yeah, that poor man's going to be so nice mid. Well, we got a Hex going down on Batrider. He seems like he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. He does have his Firefly active, so he's probably going to be able to escape here. He's going to go right past that illusion rune. I'm kind of surprised he didn't pick that up.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe he wants to save it for Angel, but yeah, Bubble's just going to come and deny it. Could have just taken it himself. But 2 people not really interested in that rune, I guess. Kind of interesting.
Not in the market.
Yeah, there's a Sunstrike.
You're not in the rune market. You're not in the rune market.
Sunstrike lands on top of Axe, and then Darkseer's Ion Shell, I guess, finishes it off. Pretty crazy.
Wow, yeah, he went down fast.
Yeah, Angel getting
Apparently
dove on.
Sunstrike,
Invoker pushing in, but this might be bad for the Invoker. He actually drops. Oh. That was really good tree cutting there by Angel. Just doing just enough to get out of vision and get that last that Earthshock, and he's actually maxing Earthshock, so that's a lot of burst that you don't come to expect of Ursa. You kind of expect those hits to be where you're taking the damage, not the nuke.
Yeah, and this is really bad for Invoker. He's picked up an old Talisman, so sure he's getting a little bit of farm, but I think he's at that point where he's died twice in lane, given a kill to Angel, more or less just to give it to him. He really wants his lane back, and fighting for it at this point might not be the right idea.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting thing to see what this Invoker does to try to recover. He's not that far behind in terms of gold because he was getting the last hits. He's only 2 last hits away, but obviously the difference comes. Look at the net worth. He's about 700 away. Not quite 700, but 600 away.
Say, middle tower
yeah,
under attack.
Where I feel the difference comes in is just his attitude right now. I mean, you get killed twice in lane. If you can maintain a level head, good for you. But you give a kill to an Ursa early. I mean, against the champion you feel like you should be beating mid. The gank in the very beginning, that's one thing, right? There's not a whole lot you can do about that. But then to go back and try and get a kill and actually just hand a kill to the Ursa under tower, I mean, that hurts.
And that's kind of what we were talking about last time we were casting a game, is that when you get behind, there's kind of, when you get killed in lane, there's kind of the 2 extremes that a lot of people go through. You either are trying to overcompensate, or you're too scared. And actually, they're going in the Darkseer top here. He could be in a lot of trouble, but he's going to surge out. He'll be fine.
All right, Tester going to live to fight another day. Yep, he did get the kill on. Did he get the kill on the Axe, or was it the Sunstrike that got the kill?
No, it was the Ion Shell that got the kill on the Axe right after the Sunstrike landed. It was the Sunstrike took him down to a fraction of an HP, pretty much.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
How do you feel about not getting an assist for the Sunstrike?
Yeah, he didn't get an assist. Maybe it just missed, actually.
All right, well, there's the Sunstrike and the Cold Snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, had the Sunstrike landed there on Angel, he would have been, I think he probably would have died there most likely. Able to kind of see coming, though. I mean, that's kind of the classic Invoker, put the Sunstrike down, Cold Snap, and hope that, you know, because they're scared, they're going to walk into it. Angel really needs to go back and heal up. I don't think...
He's got a Morbid Mass, though.
Actually?
So I think he's trying to last, you know, thinking he's going to auto-attack to get his HP back a little bit.
Yeah, you know, and he could, but frankly, he's just so low. This Invoker just needs an opportunity to open up, and I think had he caught him there, he would have been in a lot of trouble. So he's going to go back, whether he's going to a jungle camp right now to try and heal up. Yeah, he's going to try and heal up off this jungle camp.
I'm surprised he doesn't just pop his ult. His ult costs nothing, it's only 25-second cooldown, which makes him gain a little bit more HP. But obviously, he wants to save it.
Yeah, he's actually going to end up going home anyways. He was just too low for the Invoker. You know, and Invoker's kind of playing with a vengeance right now. He wants to get a kill on Angel after dying under tower, so you got to be able to predict the play coming out of your opponent mid, and if they're mad, they're going to try and kill you. Why give them the opportunity?
And I'm going to take this a little bit to break down that last Sunstrike miss and what I think was going through the head of that Invoker. So last time when they had this little play and Invoker was diving, okay, we actually have a Sunstrike coming out. I don't know what it was. Obviously didn't hit anybody. But last time, the Ursa juked through here, went in the trees. So Invoker kind of thought he was probably going to do the same thing. So when Ursa was right here, he threw the Sunstrike right here, thinking he would go back that way. But instead, Angel went this way. So whether or not, you know, that was kind of Angel going through his head saying he might Sunstrike where I went before, or whether it was just dumb luck, either way, you know, that's, I think, what happened there in the battle of the mental battle or whatever going between these two.
Oh, look at it go!
Alright, well, we got a stun coming up from Witch Doctor. Ursa in there with a big slow. Yeah, he's going to Sunstrike him, and actually Sunstrike and the Cold Snap coming down. Ursa might be in a lot of trouble here. The life's still going to keep him alive. It's the Morbid Mask. He's going to get a support TP coming in, but I don't think it's going to be in time.
Yeah, and that was actually
Witch Doctor already
really big. That Voodoo Restoration from the Witch Doctor was healing him 24 health per second during all of that. So the idea has 2 points in that. That's pretty big. I think Angel would have just dropped there if it wasn't for that Voodoo Regeneration.
Yeah, a lot of green numbers coming out there, actually. And again, Ursa now 2-0. This is not the Ursa you wanna play against. Like, you know, Ursa, I don't want to compare him to somebody like TA, but he gets to a point where if he's got a BKB and a Blink Dagger, especially going up against a team with a Weaver, Darkseer, Invoker, Dazzle line, there's pretty much nobody he can't just instantly blow up.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does here. He sees that.
I think he's going to go for the Roche right now.
Yeah, it's possible. I didn't want to say it because of the stream, possibly, but I think 90 seconds later will hopefully be enough time if they're stream sniping at all. But, you know, well, 2-minute delay should be fine.
Well, I heard a level 3 Roche is actually possible with Ursa right now. I'm not quite sure what the item makeup is for that, and I think they probably know what's going on here. He hasn't returned to lane. Ice-T is sitting there. They're going to catch this Bat Rider. Now, the Bat Rider might be able to get away here. I don't think so, actually. He's going to fall, but he is going to give the Ursa notice that he's got to get out of there.
Yeah, and I definitely think they saw it coming. They saw Ursa not in the lane, and Invoker's probably going to throw a Sunstrike down soon to check it out. So I definitely think they were prepared for that.
I'm actually really surprised that Invoker didn't go for a kill there from the right side. It seemed like Ursa was a little bit out of position, far away from tower. Invoker would have taken some tower hits there, but I could see he was tempted. He was thinking about it.
That's true.
Looking at everybody else's farm, we have a Ring of Aquila coming out on the Weaver. Been done for a while. What do you think he's building there with the Ring of Health?
I think he's probably just going to Linken's. It's a pretty standard Weaver build. Gives you just the ability to stop anything from really hitting you and killing you. It makes him such an easy hero to survive with, in that, you know, if they use a big stun on you, it's going to get blocked by your Linken's. And then the next time, you can time lapse, you can scooch you out. It's really hard to take a Weaver out.
Dyer's middle tower.
Yeah, you got a lot of options there.
Ordinary amount of stress.
I mean, with 42 last hits, he's getting pretty much free farm here. He's doing better than the Invoker mid, better than I think anybody else in the game. Let's look at last hits.
Yeah, in net worth, Doom's on top, but Weaver is on top of last hits. But the Devour and the Midas coming out from that, and that Doom's propelling him to pretty high amount of farm.
Yeah, the Devour and the Hand of Midas. I mean, if left to his own devices. All right, Bat Rider in a little bit of trouble.
Middle tower is under attack.
Here comes the Earth Spike coming out of Lion. Yeah, and they're gonna... Wow, they got 4 people there, but here comes Ursa. I don't know if he's gonna be able to get anything out of this. Yeah, he's gonna blow up this Lion, but another Earth Spike coming out. Lion gonna fall. Now Ursa falling dangerously low. Just wanting to get another kill there, but I mean, honestly, all those heroes are within range. You know, they're all heroes that Ursa likes to kill, right? They're low health. Ursa can burst them down, but seriously, 4 of them.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy for him to jump into that, honestly. I don't know if he had some leg issues there or what, but it seems like he had decisiveness going into that fight. He was kind of not sure which hero to go on. He didn't use his Earth Shock right away, which I think would have kept that Lion from getting as far away as he did.
Yeah, true. He probably wouldn't have had to chase for that as much. Now, we do have Bat Rider coming out on this Weaver. I can understand that they want to kill bottom here, but I just don't think they're going to be able to get it.
Yeah, his time
he does have lasso available in 30 seconds.
But it's up in 4 seconds, so I don't think they're going to get it.
Yeah. He's getting a little bit low on mana. He actually doesn't have mana for both Time Lapse and Jikuchi.
Yeah, he doesn't have mana for...
Skitchuchi.
Yeah, he's completely out of range of Time Lapse mana, but I don't know if they'll be able to dive this. That's pretty bold.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, and again, they do have their full tri lane down here at bottom. And a full tri Ursa coming back from it, just sitting there. They do have the Doom actually rotating bottom too, so it looks like they're going to want to put a lot of aggression. Axe TPing into the bottom tier 1 tower. Yeah, they're going after this. They're going to get some support TPs coming in here, so now it's a 4v5. The Invoker's the only one left mid, and he's going to TP in as well.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks like we're going to possibly have a fight here.
This is pretty surprising.
There goes the cold snap on the Doom. Alright, we got a lasso coming out on the Invoker, but it's not going to last. The Nerf Spike actually stopping the Bat Rider in his tracks. Here comes the Ursa. Here comes the Sunstrike. The Sunstrike going to do a lot of damage to the Ursa, bringing him down. Doom is still alive. Graves coming out on the Lion. Darkseer falling to the, what did he fall to the...
He fell to the Witch Doctor. He dropped to the Death Ward. The Death Ward was just putting in a lot of work in the back. But Axe is in trouble here. He's going to try to get out, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to. He should actually.
He's looking for support. Yeah, we do have Finger down. Actually, we don't even have Finger available. Level 5. Had Lion been level 6 there, that would have been another automatic kill, I think.
Yeah. And what was that? A 2 for 2? Or was it a 3 for 2? I'm not sure how many chosen heroes dropped there.
The Invoker fell, the Darkseer fell, the Ursa fell, and I believe...
I think the Doom fell too.
The Doom. Yeah, Doom already back mid.
I think the Bat, did the Bat die as well? I think it might have been 3.
Yes, the Bat Rider died.
Okay, so I think it was Doom, Bat, and Ursa dropping for Darkseer.
Is under attack.
We'll check out the gold graph and see what it looks like. Right now it's actually pretty much dead even. There's a little experience going in the way of chosen heroes and a little bit of gold going in the way of Commie Hunters, but overall this is an extremely close game for 13 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say the experience graph not making much of a difference right now. Ursa level, what is he, level 9, level 10?
Level 9.
Where is he? Level 9, still no Roche. I mean, an Ursa level 9, no Roche. I mean, generally these Roches are coming out extremely early, and people are kind of predicting that because of the change to his Fury swipes, that they should be coming out even earlier. And we haven't seen, we saw 1 attempt.
Well, I think he knows that they're committed very hard to preventing that. Invoker's a great hero for that. He can send in a Forge Spirit, he can throw down a Sunstrike. It's very easy for him to just scout it out. You also have Weaver who can throw in a Swarm. There's just so many ways to check it out. It's gonna be hard. They're going in top. Throw a Doom right on this Dazzle. He's not gonna be able to Shallow Grave here.
Yeah, I think he's actually going to take a lot of dot damage from both the Axe and the Doom. I don't think he's going to be able to survive those dots. We got a mech coming up from the Darkseer already, and this Darkseer chasing down the Doom in a lot of trouble, and now Axe is the one who's in trouble. Hex, Sunstrike, he's not getting out of there. Yeah, good support TP coming in from, I believe the Lion it was. Yeah, now Angel wanting to make something happen, but he's the only one there now.
Yeah, that turned on a dime. I mean, they immediately threw out the Doom and Dazzle, but they didn't have anything to lock him down, so just casually kind of walked away. The Axe wasn't able to get in position for Berserker Call, so it wasn't much of a threat.
Alright, now it's the Ursa who's in trouble. They're going to dive here. Yeah, big vacuum and a wall coming out. It's going to get the slow, but a nice spiked earth coming out. This Lion can actually fall. The tower hits possibly. The Ursa actually fallen. The Lion to make it out.
Yeah,
and that's both the Dazzle and the Ursa going down.
The Witch Doctor wasn't actually even to drop the cast in that whole fight. They were diving. I think he just needed to throw that right as soon as they started diving. it would have bounced on some creeps, but it would have been fine. They were able to uninhibitedly dive them and just set up perfectly on the heroes. It was just, it was trouble. Trouble indeed.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom
I
tower
actually
is
really,
under
the more I
attack.
watch it, the more I like them coming out of Commie Hunters. It's a really low health control comp, and it seems like it would just be a ton of fun to play. I mean, there's just so many abilities you can line up in so many different ways.
Yeah, and this Weaver is just, he's able to get so much farm
Dyer's middle
because
tower
there's
is
not much
under
that they
an
can do against it. And
extraordinary
right now,
amount of stress.
the Doom is the only one anywhere near having high net worth on the side of Chosen Heroes.
And it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense because it looks like he's going for a Shadow Blade too. Still a little bit, kind of a ways off, 1,400 away. 1,000 right now since he's got 500 in the bank. So he will get big if given the time. If they can avoid fights that bring the Doom back, and here we go, we got a Roach attempt coming out of Angel. We're gonna have to see if anybody picks up on this. I feel like I should say it more quietly.
Yeah, I mean, he's either gonna get this or not get it in 90 seconds. So, and it's actually
Bubbles there. I think maybe looking for Rune, and he's got it down to 1/3 life. He's definitely gonna be able to get this, and this is actually big. They need this right now because frankly, they just don't have enough life or control to do much in these fights. If you're getting dived by heroes with, I mean, Darkseer has more than 1,000 hit points. Weaver doesn't have more than 1,000 hit points. The Invoker, and what did I mention before? The Invoker and the Darkseer are the only ones with more than 1,000 hit points, and barely.
Yeah, but here's the difference. They have a mech online, which is basically giving your whole entire team 250 more HP. And then they also have Dazzle,
Good point.
who can Shallow Grave, he can Shadow Weave, and that's, that turns that extra 250 into more like a 400 and infinite Shallow Grave. So, the squishy team suddenly becomes a lot tankier when you consider both those things.
Yeah, I agree. Probably got Batrider going for Blink Dagger. He's still about 1,000 off. The Ursa, what do you think he's going to build here? He does have his Helm of the Dominator. Do you think he's going to go for something like a Scotty now that they've made the change?
It's really tough to say, but I think Witch Doctor might drop here.
Yeah, he's going to ward up. He might survive here. But he turns around and tries to get an ult off. This might actually end the Invoker as well. The Graves coming out on the Invoker, and I don't know if the Witch Doctor saw that coming. Yeah. I want to say that the Invoker's in trouble anyways because we got a Shadow Blade finally landing on this Doom. All he's got to do is go and give him one hit, but he turns around and he dooms.
No, he was Shadow Walk. Wow. He was Ghost Walk. He couldn't see him.
But the Doom was the Doom. Am I right? The Doom has a Shadow Blade. Yeah, the Doom was Shadow Blade, and the Invoker Shadow Walked or Ghost Walked.
Yeah, he Ghost Walked, so the Doom couldn't hit him.
Yeah, that I didn't see.
Yeah, he just Ghost Walked.
Targeting on him.
He Ghost Walked under tower, but he eventually got out of range of the tower. So.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. They're 2 kills. They're 2 deaths. Excuse me. They really didn't need to give away. All right, the Darkseer in a little bit of trouble. He got maybe not any trouble. He's gonna be able to surge away. Angel wants to catch him. I don't know if they know that the line is there.
Yeah.
Line actually deciding to turn around.
And I think Angel said he was coming bot probably, and the Batrider was like, okay, I'll last of this Darkseer is being aggressive, but he didn't realize how far away Angel actually was.
All right, Angel getting stalked. They got 2 supports here. It looks like they're going to try and get him with a combo. There, the Sunstrike. Here's the finger. Yeah, they just need a little bit more damage on him. What they got to do is prevent him from auto-attacking.
Yeah.
They're going to get the Aegis.
And that's really impressive. It shows what, Exhort Invoker can do. You have 2 supports who end up getting a solo kill on their position 2.
I know.
Because of a Sunstrike. That's pretty crazy. That is really what the power of a Sunstrike can do, though.
Yeah, and these are 2 characters that Ursa just, even in just a 2-on-1, if they're out of mana, just destroys.
Yeah. And a big Witch Doctor out coming out, but I don't think it's going to be able to really finish Doom off.
On the mech saving line, and there you go. That's the difference of that mech.
Mm-hmm. Didn't even need to use the
really, they're going to have to make something happen. We still don't have a Blink Dagger online for this Batrider. Still good. About 400 gold off. Ursa playing a little bit aggressively. They're going to set up here. The Doom also getting ready to set up. He's going to Shadow Blade. Here comes the Doom out on the Invoker. The mech helping out a huge ton. Ursa falling. Batrider finally catching somebody, but Batrider actually in a lot of trouble bringing the one person he doesn't want to bring along with him.
Yeah,
that's another double kill, and the Doom in trouble, and now the triple kill.
Yeah. And Invoker did drop there, but
and
at what cost?
Tell me this. Yeah. Was Witch Doctor down as well. That's 4 down, and we got a disconnect from the Doom. Please tell me the Doom isn't there standing.
I think Doom. Probably is their stand-in. And I don't know if he
Oh,
disconnected
boy.
in that fight. I don't think it really mattered. He got the Doom off and then pretty much died immediately after. So whether or not he disconnected in the fight, I'm not sure. But they didn't even have the axe in the fight. I think the axe is just trying to get his blink dagger desperately. And yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how it is 20 minutes in. They have so many people who are uh, really relying on this blink dagger. Ursa needs a blink dagger. Batrider needs a blink dagger. Axe needs a blink dagger. None of them have it online.
That's true.
Yeah, there's no camera. Mary getting nervous thinking I'm running the camera. He wants to dance behind me. Practice her belly dancing.
Well, Angel saying that played through it. I don't know what's going on with that too. Maybe he just can't come back. I don't know.
Okay, SteamNet's down, so I don't know if he's coming back. We don't know whether this is a disconnect due to. I mean, if he's the stand-in, we can't rule out being upset, right? But if SteamNet is down, we also can't rule out it being technical. You know, a couple of things I like about the Commie Hunter team makeup, their hero selection, is that for one, it's a team that benefits so much from mana boots. They have 2 mana boots online. I doubt that they would ever get a third, but with 2 mana boots, nobody's ever going to have mana problems. And they're just so. I mean, most of their spells are low cooldown, really. God, what's the word I'm looking for? Really high impact spells. So a mech is going to do more percent health to everybody, so a mech is huge. The mana boots, running them on 2 people is huge as well. I just feel like this is a comp that they've played a lot before.
Yeah, I think they obviously seem very comfortable with a lot of these heroes. The Invoke of these Sunstrikes have been fairly on point, especially timed with things like, the Lion getting up and Earth Spike followed into one. Or, ooh, actually, they're going on the Dazzle here. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch him, though. He drops the poison. And,
Yeah, we actually got somebody playing as Doom, even though the character isn't here. And look at this. They're just chasing after these supports. They can't even catch a support. They have a slow, but because they don't have a blink dagger on her, so he can't actually get in range of anybody to Earthshock.
yeah, and it's going to be real interesting to see, what they try to do to get back in this game. Weaver is getting spotted out, but I don't know if the Ursa's going to be safe here.
No, I think the Ursa's in a lot of trouble. They only have 3 here. They got somebody trying to control the Doom. This just makes her a really hard fight. Yeah, the Witch Doctor going to try and heal up. The Ursa not going to make it out. The Doom not going to make it out. And that's 4 down, 5 up. I don't want to call it, but there's just, with this disconnect not coming back, and being as far behind as they are, it's too hard of a game to win at this point.
It's tough. But if the Doom comes back and they kind of do things, they start landing these combos properly. Okay, actually, there's the GG call. Angel calls the GG. And, unfortunately, the game kind of ended due to technical issues, but we saw some really fun early game, and it's gonna be good to see more from these teams in the future.
I feel like a broken record.
Yeah, honestly, and we know a lot about Chosen Heroes. We know that they're an extremely good team, especially Angel. He's an extremely good mid. I like to think that he was experimenting a little bit with the Ursa mid, especially after the changes. So you got to play these games, right? You got to take an Ursa mid against an Invoker just to see how it works out for you. I don't know. I'd like to see more of it in the future. It's one of those comps that if they don't do well in the beginning, it's impossible to play well with towards the mid and end game.
That's true, and I do think that this was definitely an experimental draft. You see an Ursa mid, and it doesn't scream like this is well practiced. It was definitely like a tri-core kind of greedy lineup, and you could even say it's like quad core because you have Axe, Doom, Ursa, and Batrider. All those heroes need farm. All those heroes need at least some items. Like Batrider needs a Blink Dagger. When a hero literally needs an item to really have an impact in a game, he's pretty much considered a core hero. So this is really a quad core lineup coming out of that because Doom obviously needs farm. He's obviously a core. Ursa obviously needs farm as a core. Axe, yeah, he can have some impact in fights, but he needs a Blink Dagger. Bat Rider needs a Blink Dagger. That's what they needed. They needed those two
Yeah.
Blink Daggers, and that's greedy. Like, it's not that they can't work, but it's definitely a greedy draft. And you see sometimes greedy drafts pay out, sometimes they don't pay out. Obviously, this was the latter of the two.
Well, and you got to ask yourself. We saw an early mech coming out of the Dire from Commie, or not from the Dire, from the Radiant, excuse me, from Commie Hunters, and they could actually think a lot about who it is that they wanted to carry the mech. Whereas, like you say, with so many core heroes for chosen heroes, the Witch Doctor is going to have to be the one that carries the mech simply because if anybody else is not getting good enough farm to get their Blink Dagger, they're never going to have enough money to pick up a mech. They still have to get that core item first, which is why we saw that mech coming out for the Radiant be so impactful in the beginning of the game. And really, most of them are just dependent on levels. There's so many of those heroes. Certainly, you want farm on Weaver and you want farm on Invoker, but most of these other heroes, you just want levels.
Yeah, that's true. And one thing, you can kind of say what you will about Vanguard and Axe, but I really think in that game, Vanguard might not have been the most necessary item. I think if he would have went either just
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
a straight Blink Dagger or a mech to Blink Dagger, I think it would have been much better for the team. But Vanguard is not a bad item. People kind of always nowadays you don't see it ever picked up in pro play. Well, not ever, but you rarely see it in pro play. And I think people just kind of assume that it means it's bad. But the real, I think, main reason that pros aren't picking it up is because they realize that I can pick up a mech instead of a Vanguard. And so a lot of the heroes
Yeah.
that used to see Vanguard pickups, you see mech pickups. You see a hero like Darkseer, who used to always was literally always a Vanguard, picked up on Darkseer, and then one day someone was just like, I can pick up a mech. It gives me armor, it gives me, burst health, it gives me some extra health, and it helps out the team a whole ton. I'm gonna get a mech.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of why we don't see Vanguard that much. And if you do have someone else getting mech on your team, then you can kind of go Vanguard more so. But I think that's a big part of it.
Well, looking at the chosen heroes team pickup, their hero pickup, there's so many things that you can imagine happening that we didn't see happen at all, right? You imagine an axe blanking into, two or three of these really, really squishy heroes that Kami Hunters picked up, taunting, and then a Witch Doctor ult just destroying everybody, or an Ursa just destroying everybody, or a Bat Rider just laying flame all over the floor and destroying everybody. But we saw absolutely no initiation. So I think some of the things that they were thinking were going to happen, again, going back to the fact that nobody had a Blink Dagger, the Bat Rider picking one up in the very end, but by that point it was too late. There was never a single fight where any of these situations that we or possibly them imagined happening ever came close to occurring.
Yeah, and that's true. And that is kind of, you draft a team and you sit there and you theory craft and you think, oh, all these things are going to come together. And sometimes, I'm not saying that's what happened here. I think that this definitely could have come together, but I'm saying you don't always think about how these things get to those points. You know what I'm saying? Like you think about the meat or the
Yeah.
ends, you don't think about the means. And that's kind of a big part of it. It's how do you get that blink dagger on your axe? How do you get that blink dagger on your bat rider? And not only that, but also the variables. What are the enemy team count? What is the enemy team count going to be? What tri-lane is Bat Rider going to be up against? Things like that. So, it's definitely when you do an experimental draft, this is the reason you do it. No matter how awesome it sounds in your head, you have to try it out. You have to see what it's like. And for a team like Chosen Heroes right now, they have a guaranteed seed in the tournament. So this is the perfect time for them to experiment. This is the perfect time. They know that their opponent's trying to win, so it's not just a mess around match. It's more than a practice match for them. So they can try out these bold strategies